Good morning. I'm Sarah Pearson in the News 2 Alert Center with your morning pulse. Authorities in North Platte are still investigating a bomb threat that happened yesterday. North Platte Public Schools was evacuated to Bauer Field around 9:30 after a threatening phone call came directly into the building. Students were released by grade level and classes were dismissed for the day. Police, the Nebraska State Patrol, the FBI, and a bomb sniffing dog searched the campus and found nothing of concern. Students were allowed back later to get their belongings and cars. Officials say the case remains an active investigation. The Cottonwood fire near Brady and Gothenburg is now 98% contained. This fire has burned 129,000 acres. The cause of the fire is still unknown. And in western Nebraska, the Morrill fire is now 98% contained. It was caused by an electrical fire that was sparked by high winds. This fire is one of the 4 wildfires and is the largest in state history. According to Watch Duty, it has burned 642,000 acres. Farming experts are working to support ranchers after recent fires wiped out valuable summer pasture. At the Brady Community Center Monday night, producers and ag specialists came together to talk through possible solutions. Experts say it's a short-term fix, but one that could help keep herds fed while pastures recover.
One of the crazy things is just like what's happened this weekend. You know, we saw 100 degrees in a lot of places in March, and that's just abnormal. So as we keep getting these dry weathers, it's just making it harder and harder on plants and our grasses. And as these fires keep popping up, we're just going to see things that's just going to make it a lot more difficult. We definitely need some rain. We need something to help us out, and hopefully we get it soon.
In the meantime, they encourage producers to work together and explore all available options to protect livestock and livelihoods. U.S. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins was in Nebraska Monday, viewing historic wildfire aftermath that scorched thousands of acres across the state. Rollins met with producers and first responders, promising federal support as recovery continues. Rollins saying she has already been in touch with President Trump and plans to take what she saw and heard in the good life back to Washington.
Livestock operations again have been affected, homes have been lost, livelihoods have been upended, and families have seen the land, 4th, 5th, 6th generations that we just met with, seen the land that they have depended on and worked for generations, including rangelands and pasture, billow up in smoke in a matter of minutes.
The Department of Interior is awarding $100 million to repair the Gearing-Fort Laramie Canal, a major irrigation system serving farmers and ranchers in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming. The money will fund the Fort Laramie Tunnel Rehabilitation Project after a 2019 collapse disrupted water levels. Nebraska U.S. Senators Deb Fischer and Pete Ricketts, along with Nebraska Congressman Adrian Smith, called it a critical investment for agriculture, saying they will continue working with the Trump administration as repairs move forward. Husker baseball hits the road tonight as they take on Kansas State. Nebraska is red hot, having won 13 out of their last 14 games. That performance earned them a number 24 ranking this week, according to D1 Baseball. Tonight's first pitch is set for 6 p.m., and the game can be seen on ESPN+.
Well, hi, everybody. Good morning to meteorologist Travis Klineski here on this Tuesday morning, the 24th day of March. It's hard to believe we are just 1 week away from the final day of March here and moving into April, and hoping that maybe April brings a better chance of some nice spring showers to our area, because there's just not much in store between now and then here. And as you look at the forecast, there isn't going to be much to talk about futurecast-wise when it comes to precipitation. But let's take a look at our futurecast here. And again, there are some clouds mixed with a little bit of clearing this morning. I think we get a little more sun as the day goes on. There'll still be a few fair weather clouds out there this afternoon. Breezier southerly winds over the eastern half of the area right in here. But out to the west, more of that northwest wind, and it won't be quite as strong in these locations here. Heading into tonight, the weather looks to be pretty quiet with partly cloudy skies. There is a warm front right in this general vicinity here that'll push a few clouds through. That warm front will flip our winds out of the west and eventually the northwest, and we're going to really heat up for your day on Wednesday. We're talking about record high temperatures. It's already warming up quite a bit today, but we're talking about record heat on Wednesday. Breezy winds as well, very dry conditions. The fire weather threat will be back with the low relative humidity out there. And then tomorrow night, still going to be that threat because the winds will actually start to turn and become quite blustery in northern Nebraska late in the night up here. There's a cold front that'll be entering the picture in northern Nebraska, kind of about right there by 7 a.m. on Thursday morning. That will slide southeastward as the day goes on, and that's going to bring in some brisk or blustery north and northwest winds. There is going to be a little bit of moisture as well. That's kind of the beginning of it right here. Some very, very light rain that will slide southward behind that frontal boundary, and we do have a slight chance of seeing some limited moisture across the area. Thursday, but I think more so Thursday night into Friday morning, it doesn't look like a big deal right now. This is extremely limited moisture that's on the way. Well, looking at the red flag warnings, the fire weather threat basically starting tomorrow. Today is not going to be too bad. Tomorrow, red flag warnings in western Nebraska starting at noon Central Time, so it's 11 a.m. Mountain Time. That'll continue until 10 o'clock Mountain Time in western Nebraska. That's the Cheyenne National Weather Service. The North Platte and Goodland National Weather Service, they have not upgraded to a red flag warning yet, but they do have fire weather watches out. They're virtually the same thing. It's all about the time frame, basically. But again, these will start tomorrow late morning, 11 a.m. Central Time, and they will continue. It expires in southwest Nebraska, the Goodland National Weather Service right here for these three counties. It expires at 10 p.m. on Wednesday. But for the rest of these counties right here for the National Weather Service out of North Platte, it expires at 5 a.m. on Thursday. So even overnight, there's still going to be threat. We're looking at relative humidity dropping around 10 to 20% during the daytime especially, and the winds are going to be breezy out there, maybe gusting to 30 miles per hour. And then overnight, when that front starts to come through, could gust up to 35, maybe 40 miles per hour. And so that wind could continue to be quite strong even into the nighttime hours. It's going to be quite warm today, upper 60s, 70s, and lower 80s, warmer the farther southwest that you go. Overnight tonight down into the 40s for most, maybe a few spots into the upper 30s, maybe a few staying around 50 degrees for overnight lows on Wednesday, or Thursday night, or Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, I should say. Excuse me. As we look ahead to your day on Wednesday, we're talking record heat. Records are back. We should crush records in the Tri-Cities and especially North Platte. Lincoln, your record's 91. I think we could get there as well on Wednesday. So lots of low and mid 90s over the southern half or so of the area, and then mid to upper 80s up north. Cooler air will start to dive south late Wednesday night into Thursday morning, but most of us will see a very mild night overnight Wednesday night. And then during the day on Thursday, you can see the cooler air beginning to slide south. So much cooler in the north and northwest, in the 50s, even some 40s in northwest Nebraska, but 60s and 70s to the south and east. In fact, to the far southeast, even some lower 80s still. Now much cooler by Thursday night and the Friday morning. Most of us are down into the 20s and lower 30s, so we'll fall back below freezing. And Friday looks to be our coolest day for the rest of this weekend, for this 7-day time frame, basically, as we are looking at 40s for the most part, or 50s for the most part for the day on Friday. So let's take a look at that extended forecast. And again, temperatures will be trending downward at the end of the week. Small chance of moisture Thursday night, early Friday morning in the form of some light rain that may try to mix with snow. I don't think it's a big deal at all. After a cool day on Friday, we begin to warm up on Saturday. It's going to be windy again on Saturday. And then Sunday and Monday, quite warm again. So it's going to be a warm start to next week up into the 80s. Then we'll cool back as we begin the month of April with perhaps some moisture to talk about down the road. We'll cover that in just a bit. Looking at North Platte. Again, quite warm today. Your record today is 82. It's a little lower today, so we're going to be within about 4 degrees of the record. The other locations, we're not going to get there, but if we overachieve, maybe getting to a record high. I don't think we'll get there, though. But tomorrow, certainly a record high of 84 degrees. We're going to be pushing low 90s tomorrow. Windy, cooler on Thursday. Thursday evening, a slight chance of light rain that may try to mix with some snow. Our coolest day will be on Friday, and then a little bit warmer and windy on Saturday. Sunday, very warm conditions. That warmth will continue into your Monday. And then temperatures kind of slowly trending downward Tuesday, and then Wednesday and Thursday. So we trend downward and perhaps maybe some moisture to talk about. As of right now, looking at the Climate Prediction Center for the final day of March next Tuesday, all the way through the following Monday, that's the Monday after Easter, we are very likely to stay above average. Average highs in late March and early April are mostly in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees, so we're going to be above that for the most part as we start off the month of April. And the Climate Prediction Center does have our area in that 8 to 14 day outlook in the above average category in precipitation, and not just the light green, which is just a slight chance of being above average, but a decent chance of being above average precipitation-wise. An even better chance here along the Rio Grande there of southern Texas and southern New Mexico. So let's take a look at some of the long-range models. First, the North American model, which is a 3-day model. And we'll take you to that moisture again. This is Thursday. We'll back it up to Thursday morning there. This is Thursday and then Thursday night. And again, the moisture is limited. So again, I'm not expecting a whole lot. So I only went with a 20% chance. Now let's look at the European model, which is this model that I have access to is a 10-day model. Again, there's Thursday afternoon behind the cold front. Here comes some of that moisture. Thursday night, again, light rain, maybe a little snow mixed in, shouldn't amount to much though. Then you look down the road and we're waiting until next week. Maybe some limited moisture on that Monday time frame. I debated throwing a 20% chance of rain in for Monday. I didn't. We may have to eventually do that. We'll see. But then looking towards that Wednesday time frame, maybe a little bit better chance of a little moisture. Now, I will tell you right now, the European model, the latest model, is backing off on the heavier rainfall, but it's also backing off on the snow off to the northwest in our northwestern area. But moisture in the vicinity, let's just see if some of that can get to our area. How about the GFS model? Let's jump ahead to Thursday. Here comes the cold front. Very limited moisture. The GFS barely has anything for us. So then we jump ahead to next week. Monday, again, not a great chance of rain. But maybe by Tuesday or Wednesday, rain chances. Snow hopefully staying to our north. Be nice if this could happen and we could get some nice cool showers. And we'll see if more moisture chances come down the road. That's a little bit up in the air right now. Finally, we'll look at temperatures before we wrap things up here. Our temperature trends over the next 10 days here. Again, it's going to be a bit of a roller coaster ride. Temperatures trending up big time tomorrow. Going to be a hot one for many tomorrow. And then here comes the Thursday to Friday cool down. Then we start to warm up on Saturday. Sunday, Monday looking pretty warm. Maybe a little bit of a cool down later on next week, though, by mid to late next week here, a little bit of a cool down here. And then finally, we'll wrap things up with a look at the GFS forecast model. Again, we are warming up between today and especially tomorrow, cooling down on Thursday and especially Friday. Saturday starts to warm things up. Sunday, warmer yet. Does look like a pretty warm start to next week. Maybe a little cooler later in the week, but the GFS right now does not cool us down as much as the European model does. So there are some discrepancies down the road, and that does happen with these long-range models. They tend to stray away from each other a little bit more once you get farther out in time. Well, again, everybody, that is all I have for you for today. So I want to thank you all for watching on this Tuesday morning. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again on Wednesday. Take care, and God bless. Bye.